Hey everyone, welcome to Summer StuMin this week. I am so excited to be with you for this week's worship. My name is Reese Thoen, and I came to Prince of Peace about 3 years ago to lead a group of 9th grade guys. They will be starting their senior year this fall, and I'm super excited for them just to go through one last year with them. And it's amazing how fast time flies. So let's hop into our devotion today. I do have a quick reading for you guys from the book of Ephesians, so let's run through that quickly. This is Ephesians chapter 6, verses 1 through 9. Children, obey your parents because you belong to the Lord, for this is the right thing to do. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise. If you honor your father and mother, things will go well for you, and you will have a long life on earth. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Rather, bring them up with discipline and instruction that comes from the Lord. Slaves, obey your earthly masters with deep respect and fear. Serve them sincerely as you would serve Christ. Try to please them all the time, not just when they are watching you. As slaves of Christ, do the will of God with all your heart. Work with enthusiasm, as though you were working for the Lord rather than for people. Remember that the Lord will reward each one of us for the good we do, whether we are slaves or free. And masters, treat your slaves the same way. Don't threaten them. Remember, you both have the same master in heaven, and he has no favorites. So that wraps up the reading. So I do want to just get into a couple of quick talking points here. There's going to be one key word here that I want to keep you guys in mind. And when I was reading that verse, this word kept rattling around in my mind the whole time. And that word is respect. Excuse me. Throughout that passage, there were 4 different groups that were mentioned, and those were children, parents, slaves, and masters. So I'm going to just touch on each of those points really quick for everybody to try to show you how you can apply this to your own lives. So children, first of all, this is one that I can relate to the most because I have been a child, obviously, as we all have. I don't have any kids of my own, so I have not. I can't relate to being a parent so much unless you count my dog and cat. But let's not go there. So children, your parents always know what's good for you, and it's important that you respect their knowledge and their understanding of what's going on in the world. So there are many times where you're going to think that what they're telling you is the exact opposite of what you think is correct. But it is also important to respect the decisions they make. And in the passage, right there in the passage, it says, honor your father and mother. Things will go well for you, and you will have a long life on earth. If that is not a rule to live by, I don't know if there is one. Moving on to parents. Parents, learn to support your children, but not to push them too hard. A way to respect them is to respect the abilities that God has given them, and respect their limits. It's most important, if you ask me, to raise your children towards having a good set of morals versus raising them towards fame and money. So once again, respect those abilities that the Lord has given to them, and understand how to guide them in their life. Teach them to make decisions, and occasionally, when possible, allow them to learn from their mistakes. It's a humbling experience for them. Maybe they'll learn to respect you in more of a way. If they see that you're pushing them towards a decision, they go the other way. And see that ultimately you were right. I can tell you from plenty of experiences, I went against what my parents thought, and they were right every time. So learn to respect each other, parents and children. So let's move on to slaves and masters here. So I know that in America today there is no slavery, but back in this time when this letter was wrote, Paul was writing letters to different cities that were literally burning to the ground sometimes. And so this letter to the Ephesians, he was writing to them as if they had, because they did have slaves. So he was writing to them about that. So I'm not trying to rewrite history here. I'm not trying to act like that didn't happen. But I think that a way that we can apply it to our lives today is look at it and see that a slave and a master were probably there's the biggest difference in where you were in society. So it was the biggest split. So I mean, you have the slaves were the lowest of the low in society usually, and then the masters were at the upper echelon, and so God uses that, or Paul uses that that analogy to show that no matter how far apart you are, it's important to respect the people above and below you, and to serve them as though they are your equal. And God says, and Paul says in one of those verses that the slave should serve their master just as hard when they're not looking as when they are looking. So, and that's not going to go unnoticed, that effort that you make. And same for masters, treat people a good way, and that will not go unnoticed either. So now to summarize things real quick, our world is built on hierarchies today. Parents and children, as we saw in this passage, but you also have teachers and students, bosses and employees, coaches and players, and there's many, many other examples. So often we can find ourselves in those hierarchies on the top or the bottom, or even at the same level as other people. So it's important to learn to respect people on all levels, above, below, or even to you. Respect is similar to kindness. The golden rule we always learn is do unto others as you want done to you. So show respect to others and they will show respect to you. Same kind of thing. And it's important to remember that no one owes you any respect. You have to give them a reason to respect you. And I think that the easiest way to do that is to respect them even if they don't deserve it. And then finally, it's extremely important to keep the last sentence of this reading in our minds. It says, we all have the same master in heaven, and he has no favorites. So remember that no matter who you are in the world, the playing field is completely leveled in the end. And you're no longer above or below anyone. God doesn't play favorites based on fame, money, and power. The life you live and the way you act is what you get to take with you. So with that, I'm going to send all of you off with a quick assignment for the week and a question to think about. So, who is someone in your life that you could respect more even if they don't deserve it? And then your homework for the week is to act on that. Show them more respect than you normally would. Show that person what you are all about and why you deserve their respect in return. All right, thanks everybody. I hope you guys got something out of this and have a wonderful week.